Welcome back to Bethany, New Grounds for Believing. Can you believe we're already at week 5? Today we actually get to spend time looking at the small village that was the backdrop of most of our time together, Bethany. This was more than a pit stop. I had you look at 9 key events that happened in or around this tiny village. And what I hope you gleaned from it was that it truly was more than a pit stop. This was a place that was along a well-traveled road in this community. It saw a lot of action. It might have been small, but it served as a backdrop for peace, for promise, for preparation, and just so many amazing things, not only in the life of the Messiah, but I want to say in the life of so many during this time. You see, Jerusalem was busy. It was active. It had constant things going on. You had worship, you had sacrifice, you had tension, you had all the things that it was associated with the promise and the return of a king. And then you also had the daily rituals of people that were living under the law of sacrificing animals. So you had the teachers in there. It was noisy. It was just so much activity. You talk about our kids today that are having issues with screen time and this and that. Can you imagine Jerusalem? I think it was their constant activity and, just the busyness that was going on. It would have been overwhelming. And so many people needed a Bethany. They needed a place to relax and reset. One of the things that we saw was that this was a place of peace. It provided a peace for Jesus and a rest before Passion Week. And during Passion Week, he came there. And I want to ask you today, do you practice rest like the Messiah? Do you find a place that can be your Bethany and offer you an opportunity to rest and reset and to prepare for what's ahead? I know I struggle with that. It wasn't until here recently that I actually started practicing a rest and a reset and finding places that speak to my soul in this way, that give me that reset and a refreshing spirit. And I'm gonna challenge you. Find your place. Find your Bethany that acts like that to you. Copy the Messiah's example. And then it also was a place of power where Lazarus was resurrected. I mean, think about that. This town is still known for that. A lot of the searches that you'll do will bring it up. And if you're looking at the modern day Bethany where Lazarus was resurrected, it's all attached to him, to that resurrection. But it's more than being just about a miracle. It was a community. People were there. They came and they witnessed and they saw and they learned and they became to believe. So this was a town of great power. It was also a place of preparation. Here's where we saw Mary anointing the Messiah with her perfume. We see that she's revealing what worship and sacrifice looks like and what it means for us to understand the holiness of the Messiah and what his gift of his sacrifice has for us. Mary took a moment there in Bethany to honor him with something so expensive and so holy. And this happened in Bethany, not in Jerusalem. It was a place of promise. This week we really looked at what the prophet Zechariah had to say about Bethany. We see that it's a place close to where the Messiah ascended, and it is close to where he will return. It is a place of promise. When we're considering our Messiah's return sitting on this side of the New Testament, places like Bethany are still important to the story and the life of the Messiah. It's something that we don't want to overlook. But today I want to spend some time talking to you. What's your personal Bethany? What is the place where you find the sense of community like Jesus did, where people truly do know you? They know your name. They want to be around you. They provide rest. They provide happiness. They provide joy. Who are those people? What does that community look like? How often do you take time to visit it or to spend time with them? Understanding the relationship that a personal Bethany has to not only our walk with Christ and our ability to bring heaven down and to build the kingdom, it also has to do with providing something for our souls. It's important, sister, that we don't miss the lessons that can be learned from this small village, and understanding that Jesus wasn't using the palaces and the platforms to do some of his mighty work. We saw 9 key incidents where he did it in a small town of Bethany. Don't overlook your Bethanies. Don't overlook your seasons. Be prepared to meet the Messiah anywheres and at any time. I'll see you next week as we close out Bethany, New Grounds for Believing.